Hey guys, Zach from Say What Zach here. So, no NHL, no American Hockey League. We're going to go over the 2020 AHL All-Star Game. Their events, their skills competition was tonight, so we're going to go over it. I was able to catch this. They are showing the skills competition tonight on NHL Network, and tomorrow, which is Monday I'd say 27th? Yeah, Monday the 27th, they are showing the All-Star Game, the All-Star Classic over on NHL Network as well. I'm going to try and catch that as well. We'll see if I can hit up the same restaurant twice. And if they're sick of me sitting there for 2 hours recording, not recording on my phone, but like documenting, writing down notes and all that fun stuff. So anyways, first thing right off the bat, I've never watched the skills competition or the All-Star Game for the American Hockey League. This is my first attempt at really doing any reviewing and detailed work into it. So it's very drastically different from the National Hockey League All-Star Game. I found that out really quick. There's a couple things that are still the same, but there's a couple things that are very different. So it took me some research, a little bit of watching to kind of comprehend what was going on. So, it's kind of like East versus West situation, which is kind of how the NHL used to do it, but that's how it is in the American Hockey League still. And each category has like different scoring for points, and each division gets points based on the certain thing they're doing. So I'm going to try and do it as best as I can. Again, I'm still learning a little bit myself as I'm going through this, but I think I got a pretty good grasp on what's going on. So in the first event, it's the puck control relay. So this is the part I didn't catch. We got there like about 30 minutes late. I was running a little behind, so missed the relay. But from what I understand, it's 3 players. They're puck handling, all that fun stuff. And they're playing, again, a group of 3 does it for the East, a group of 3 does it for the West, and they do 2 races like that, and then they have a one-on-one race for the 3rd and 4th race. So it's kind of, again, a little weird, a little different. But yeah, anyways, we're going to go ahead and get into this first round, and I do have the All-Star app, or the American Hockey League All-Star stuff up on the tablet, so I can kind of tell you everything. I wasn't able to fit everything on this board, and there's going to be kind of a fade into the 7th event and the final, because everything didn't fit on here either. So anyways, the puck control relay. So the race number 1 for the East was Jack Studnicka for the Bruins, Joey Keane for the Wolfpack, and Alex Bray Boulette for the Crunch. They end up winning this one. And again, they get a point for that. So they win this relay. They get 1 goal for their division, which is, again, kind of weird. They played against Lucas Levis, Brendan Manel, Chris Weidman are the 3 they played against. So they've played relayed against, and the Eastern won. So 1 point for this team right here. The race number 2 was Alexander Carrier for the Admirals, Glenn Gowden for the Heat, which is, again, a Stockton Heat, which is a t-shirt I am wearing. And then Kyle Capablanco for the Roadrunners. They win race number 2 for the West. So the West gets a goal, East gets a goal. So they're 1-1 out of the first 2 races. The West, they played against Sebastian Aho, Morgan Rafferty, and Paul Carey were the 3 that they played against their relay against. So after a 2-second race, 1-1 is the score. Race number 3, you got Morgan Frost for the East, losing to TJ Tyron for the West. So TJ Tyron for the Eagles does beat Sebastian Aho in the East, giving the West a 2-1 lead after 3 races. In the 4th event, or race, Jeremy Bracco for the Toronto Marlies scores a point for the East over Cale Clogg of the Western Conference. So after 1 event, it's 2-2. So again, it's kind of score based. Again, it can be a little confusing. I was a little confused watching it, considering it was my first time really delving into it. But yeah, so if the players from that division win, they get a point. So it's 2-2 after the first event. Fastest skater. This is where I can kind of go based on the NHL All-Star Game, because it's kind of like the same, where they skate around the rink and see who can be the fastest. The fastest one is Alex Formenton for the Senators. He does it at 13.356 was his fastest time. And Jack Studnicka comes in second, who plays for the Bruins, at 13.804. So relatively close, very close. But Formenton scores a point for the East, making it 4-2 after 2 events. So again, it's a really weird way they do the scoring. Not really sure how the points work entirely. So like fastest skater again, So it's AHL player with the fastest time earns a goal for their team. So since Formenton wins this one, he gets a point to make it 3-2. And then the fastest team average earns a goal as well. So that makes it the 4-2. Sorry, that's why I have the tablet. See? So the East also had the fastest overall time. So they get 2 points out of this event, making it 4-2. Next up, we have the hardest shot. And these aren't in exact order on the app. Again, I kind of organized a little bit into how it would fit on the board best, but at the end of it, the team that wins. The hardest shot, Martin Ferk for the Ontario Reign. He sets a new record for North American hardest shot recorded at 109.2 miles an hour. So, humongous night for Martin Ferk to be able to do that. Again, annihilating any record for the NHL players that was set the other night in the NHL All-Star Game. Martin Ferk, again, amazing shot. I didn't realize how good of a shot he had, how hard of a shot he had. That would explain why the Red Wings, when they had him on the point, doing one-timers from the point on the power play. Now we know why. Then Evan Bouchard came in second at 103 miles per hour for the Condors. And this one, the team with the highest average speed earns a point, and the player with the hardest shot earns a point. So again, it's 4-4 after third event. So again, with Martin Ferk being from the West, he gets a point for them, and the West also have the best overall speed. So 2 points for the West. They make it 4-4 after the third event. And there's 7 events in this All-Star game. So again, it gets back and forth. Accuracy shooting. So Charles Hudon for the Rockets hits 4 targets with 5 attempts. So again, he does it with 5 attempts. That's all he needs to hit all 4 targets. Again, kind of just like the NHL accuracy shooting one, same kind of concept here. And then Chris Terry for Grand Rapids hits all 4 of them in 6 attempts. So again, not too bad. When again, it only takes 6 shots to hit 4 targets. It's not too bad. So in this game, again, sorry if it's a little shaky, still kind of learning here. So the player with the fewest hits and the fewest attempts earns 1 goal for their point, which is the East. So that would be for the Charles Hudon. He does it, obviously, with 5 attempts, so the fewest. And then the team with total hits and fewest attempts earned gets the goal as well. So the West gets the fewest shots attempts overall between the 2 divisions, making it 5-5 after the 4th event. So they each get a point in this event. Again, it's a little weird how they did it, but this is how the American Hockey League does it. So 5-5 after the 4th event. Going into the 5th event. Sorry. This one is the rapid fire event, which is, again, slightly different than the NHL ones. So this is this is all goaltending stuff from here on in, kind of. So, rapid fire, how this works. Team with the most total saves earns 1 goal. So the West comes out of this one with the point. So again, little weird how they did it, but again, I only went with the Western Conference goaltenders right now because again, I didn't have enough room on the board for everybody. So Ingram for the Milwaukee Admirals gets 9 saves. Stolarz for the Gulls gets 7 saves. Lankinen for the Ice Hogs gets 7 saves. Cal Peterson for the Ontario Reign gets 7 saves. And that equals 30 saves. The East had 29, so the West gets a point, making it 6-5 after the 5th event. So again, it's very weird how they, again, do the points, but that's how we do it. Let's see, rapid fire. There we go. So Kakasuo for the Toronto Marlies faced off against him, was in this event as well. Vanek, let's see, I have him written down here, for Hershey, that's who he plays for Hershey, also competed in this event. Then Jonas Johansson for the Rochester Americans also participated for the East. And then Nilikovic for the Charlotte Checkers also competed, and those were the Eastern Conference goaltenders. Again, hope that wasn't too confusing. But yeah, the ones I named off first were the West, who won, and then the ones I just named off here were the Eastern Conference goalies who lost. So because they had 1 fewer saves, again, giving the West the lead after the 5th event. So 6-5 after the 5th event. Hope you guys are following along, because again, it gets a little confusing trying to keep everything in check, and it doesn't get a lot easier with this next event. But hopefully this kind of breaks it down relatively quickly so you guys can kind of comprehend a little bit what happened and see some fun little stats from the skills competition. Because again, this is one of the best parts of the All-Star weekend for either league. You get to see some of the best players play and do some awesome fun stuff. So this is the pass and score competition, which again was really confusing when I was watching it. This one took me a minute to comprehend. So each individual goal scored counts toward overall team score. So for each goal that the team gets, the conference they play for gets a point. So Ingram was in net at first for Milwaukee Admirals, or the Milwaukee Admirals goaltender. He versus Morgan Frost, Sebastian Aho, and Formenton. So they got 2 goals and on 3 shots. So they get 2 points, which again is super weird how they did it, but that's how they did it. Anyways, sorry, kind of lost track. So Corpusalo came in and versed against Eleves, Harkins, and Tyron. Corpusalo obviously for Toronto Marlies. The 3 shooters got 2 goals, and Corpusalo made 1 save. So again, they get 2 points for the Western Conference. So again, they're tied at they're not tied. It is 8-7 at this point. Again, the scoring is super weird with this. So they get a point for each goal they score. Yeah, super weird. Anyways, Vanacek for Hershey versus against Burke, Carrier, and Pouliot. They get 1 goal, and Vanacek saves 2 shots. So they only get 1 point. Lenkinen versus Bean, Miletic, and Grounitz for the Syracuse Crunch. He allows 1 goal and 2 saves for Lenkinen for the Rockford Ice Hogs. Again, so now they're up to 9-8. Sorry, I'm trying to add in my head because again, the way they scored this is wrong. How I have it right here, because I forgot they get a point for each goal. It's again, a little confusing. Johansson for Rochester Americans. He went up against the Kalug for Ontario, Wyden for San Diego, and Capablanco. Bianco. Sorry, for the Roadrunners. Again, I may be pronouncing some of these names wrong too. Hopefully this is easy for you guys to follow. Sorry if it isn't. I'm trying here. Johansson allows 2 goals. He makes 1 save, so the West gets 2 more points, giving them at that point 11 to 8 at that point, I believe. If I'm adding correctly, it could be very wrong in the adding there. Cal Peterson versus Bronco, Pierre Bouliat, and Clendenning. Clendenning is for the Cleveland Monsters, so I got to see him play the other night. Peterson allows 2 goals and makes 1 save, so that's 2 more points for the East at this point, making it then 11-10, I believe, if I'm adding right. Which, again, possibly very wrong. And then Noah Kolvik for the Charlotte Checkers is facing the shooters Ains, Benson, and Blitchfield. He allows 1 goal, makes 2 saves, so another point for the West. So, should be, after this point, if I add this all up correctly, 12-10. Again, could be very wrong. I'll double check it when I do the next video. If I'm wrong, or the next half, should I say, of this video, I'll double check it and make sure I'm all right there. But anyways, that's how it is sitting 12-10 for the West after the 6th event. Now we'll fade into the 7th event and the final score. This is the last event. This is event number 7. It's called the Breakaway Relay. So this is, again, very different from the NHL. And I was just going to update you. I was off. It was 12-11 after the 6 events. So I was off on the score there. So my math was a little off. Sorry about that. All that. So it's 12-11 after 6 events in favor of the West. And we go into this Breakaway Relay. So with this event, each individual goal scored counts toward the overall team score. So that's how this event's going to work. There's 8 rounds in this event. And again, you have a goalie versus 5 different shooters. They have 50 seconds to go through and get all the shooters in. So in that 50 seconds, all these shooters have to get their shots off and see if they score. So in the first round, Ingram is facing up against Studnicka, Kane, Molson, Rafferty, and Hudon. Studnicka is the only one who gets a goal, so it's 1 goal for the East. So that makes it 12-12 at this point. In the second round, Kakusuo is versing off against Kalug, El Esperas, who is for the Texas Stars. Again, some of these I didn't write down because it's a lot of writing, but again, I'll tell you a couple that I haven't pulled up on the board yet. Manel, Gowden, and Bouchard. So, Katsuo lets in 3, so it's 3 goals to the West. That makes it 15-12 at this point after 2 rounds. Which, you know what, I'm going to put up there. 15-12, just so I keep track of it. Because old ticker ain't quite what it used to be after that accident. In the 3rd round, Stolarz versus off against Anderson, Lejegerin. I had this name when I was writing it. Now I can't say it, obviously, when I'm saying it. Surprise, right? Formenton, and Aho, and Frost. So out of those 5 shooters, only Formenton scores, so it's 1 goal for the East. So at this point, it's then 15-13. So this is pretty much the big event that cost the East the event. Next up is Vanek. He faces Poulat, Burke, Carrier, Blitchfield, and Capablanco. He allows 1 goal, so it's 1 goal for the West, so it's 16-13 at that point. In the 5th round, Lankinen faces Balsers, Maletic, Bean, Lafferty, and Barry Boulette. So, of those shooters, Malek is the one who scored, so it's 1 goal for the East, making it 16-14 at that point. What was I going to say? And a couple of these shooters do go twice, I noticed. So they don't. They have a couple of shooters go twice for each division. Johansson faces off against Elevens, Anas, Weidman, and Benson and Harkins. He allows 1 goal, against Anas, which gives them a 16-15 lead for the West still. Next up, Kel Peterson is faced off against Bronco, Guantz, Glendenning, Carey, and Molson. So Molson, again, he goes twice. He does not get a goal either time. So unfortunately, Matt Molson doesn't get one. 1 goal for the East, which gives them 16-15, which I think I may have screwed that up. Yep, I did. 17-15, 17-14. I can't do math. Sorry, people. 16 it's not 16. Jeez. 17-15 after the 7th round, and in the last round, Nedel Kavanka, Nedlovic. Again, I'm saying that horribly wrong. I'm sorry, Charlotte fans. He faces off against Ford, Terry, Mayhew, and Firk. He allows a goal on Ford, so that's 1 for the West. So that your final is 18-15 after 8 rounds. So, with that, again, I know it's a lot of digestion. It's kind of, again, a lot different from the National Hockey League, the American All-Star. Very different. I do kind of like it overall, though. I think if it was something I watched more than just the first time trying to take notes, I would enjoy it a lot more. And I'm sure over the years, as this channel grows, hopefully, next year I'll be able to do this a lot better now that I have a general idea of how all these events work, and I can maybe lay it out a little better with the new set we're going to have. So anyways, getting past that little rant, your final is 18-15 for the West. The West beats the East. Big event for the All-Stars, and a lot of these players, again, won't probably make it up to the NHL level and be All-Stars there. So they get to kind of be All-Stars in their own right in the minor league, which is pretty cool, especially with Martin Firk, again, setting that North American record. That was awesome. There were some beautiful goals and, like, backhanders and stuff. Again, if there's any highlights, I haven't really checked yet since I kind of came home, started writing and posting this video. If you could watch some highlights from it on maybe the American Hockey League app. Again, American Hockey League app, please, you guys, fix this app. American Hockey League, please listen, fix this app. It had nothing updated on the app for this game during the events, like who won each event, nothing. So I had to go to the actual AHL website with the tablet. Anyways, if the tablet or the app eventually upload any of the like highlights, it'd be worth watching. There's some cool stuff that happened. Anyways, thank you guys for kind of suffering through that while I try to piece it together for you guys of exactly how this was framed, how it went. Again, it was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned a little something about the American All-Star Game and who won it, who lost it, all that fun stuff. Again, if you liked the video, give us a like and subscribe. This is Zach from Say What Zach. Thank you so much for watching everything. And I am going to try and do the All-Star Game tomorrow, watching how they do. I've already looked ahead to the scores. There's a whole bunch more games than there are for the National Hockey League, so get to learn that tomorrow anyways. Hope you guys have a good night. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you guys again soon.